Hi guys, I wanted to do a tutorial and a review on the new Smashbox Photo Matte Eyes Palette. Actually, it's not super new. It probably came out about 2 months ago, maybe a little bit before that. But yeah, I wanted to do a tutorial and review. I had originally tried to do this before when I first got the palette, but unfortunately I edited everything and I deleted the whole video. So now I'm refilming it. So I'm going to jump into the review first, and then I will jump into the tutorial. I'll try to make the review pretty short and simple. All of the eyeshadows are matte, of course, and they can be used as eyeliner, eyebrow powders, and eyeshadows. The deeper colors in the palette can be used wet or dry. They're specifically pigmented to be used wet, so it will not mess up the powders. I'm actually liking it a lot. The brow powders, or the options that you have for the brow powders, are really good. And it's very similar kind of to the Anastasia brow powders when it comes to the color options that they suggest for the brow powders. And what's cool is if you use it dry, it's going to be lighter, and then if you use it with a wet brush, it's going to be darker, so you get a 2-in-1 powder. And also comes with this shadow and brow / eyeliner brush, so it's double-sided brush. I found using the brush for eyeliner was a little bit harder. I prefer to use a very thin brush, so in this tutorial I actually didn't use the brush that came with the palette. I used my own eyeliner brush. The powders are very pigmented. They're really easy to blend. Even if you're using them wet, they don't stick. It's not hard to not blend. It's very easy to blend them out. What's even cooler, if you're not a makeup expert or anything, or you just are kind of like, I don't know which powders to use for my brows, it actually comes with this whole guide. And it shows you right here, I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see it, but it shows you what color, like for hair color, what colors to use in the palette, and it gives you the names of the eyeshadows or the powders to use in the palette, which is really cool. I used a mixture of the brunette and the black, which would be Earthy and Canyon, in the palette. I like it's probably more true to color, like if I was brunette, but my hair's black, but I don't like my brows to be too dark, so I just kind of mixed a mixture of those two together. The other cool thing about this little pamphlet is it also shows you how to do eyeliner shapes, or eyeliners for different eye shapes, and how to fill in the brows for different brow shapes. So this is the palette. So you have cools and you have warms, and what's even more cooler is the 2 colors in the center are normally the colors that you run out of first. So they made them double the size. How cool is that? I mean, at least for me, the vanilla colored one is the one that I run out of, like, really fast. So all in all, I think it's like a really good palette to have, especially like if you're on the go a lot or you travel a lot. It's one less thing for you to bring with you, to have to bring multiple products. You get more products in one just palette. The only problem that I had with the palette is for some reason my eyes started watering a little bit today, and my eyes don't normally water, but for those of you whose eyes do water very easily, or you're going to a wedding where you're gonna cry, or whatever else where you would cry, I would probably use some type of mixing medium that's waterproof to go with the powders if you're using it as an eyeliner. I definitely wouldn't use it by itself because it'll probably smudge or come off or smear. But that's the only problem that I've had with it. I actually like it a lot. So if you guys purchase it, let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts about it. I am going to jump into the tutorial, so I will see you guys in a bit. So I always start off with my brows first, and it says for brunette, which typically tends to be the color that I go for, it says to use Earthy. I want to say last time I tried this it was a little bit too light, so I went back in with Canyon to darken it up a little bit. But you can use these wet, so when you use them wet, it's going to deepen the color a little bit more. So I'll try both and we'll see which one works. So I'm going to use a spoolie. This is just a disposable spoolie. And I'm going to comb my hairs up and into the shape that I normally like them to go into. And I'm going to use this angled brush from MAC. I've had this thing for so long that the number actually wore off. I want to say it's a 266, but I'm not too sure, so I'll put the description down below. I'll double check and see if that is the right number. So I'm going to use Earthy Dry first. So now I'm going to go back in with my brush. I'm going to dip it into that earthy powder, and then I'm just going to spray it with some water. So this will deepen that color a little bit more. You can already see that it's intensifying it. So you can see like the difference between the two brows. This one's with it dry, this one's with it wet and dry. So you can see this one's a lot lighter. So now I'm going to go back in with Canyon, since that one's a little bit deeper, and I'm just going to darken up my brows a little bit. So now I'm going to take my Real Techniques concealer brush and my Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer in Fair Neutral, and I'm going to shape the brows. So now I'm going to prime my eyes with the Smashbox 24-Hour Photo Finish Shadow Concealer. I'm going to rub it in, and then I'll let it set for 30 seconds, or 30 to 60 seconds before I apply my eyeshadow. For my eyeshadow primer, I like to just do it on the lid area, and I kind of bring it out towards the outer corner. The reason why I don't go too far above is because I always bring the concealer down from where I used it to shape my brows. That way it highlights the brow bone, and at the same time it'll kind of work as a primer. So I'm just going to use a Sephora shadow brush. I don't believe they make this one anymore, but they probably have ones that are really similar. It's just a flat paddle brush. I'm going to start out with vanilla, and I'm going to use it on the brow bone, and then I'll pat it into the crease. So this will actually highlight the brow bone and make it pop a little bit more. So now I'm going to use Real Techniques base shadow brush, and I am going to take Wheat, and I'm going to do that in the crease first, and I'll drag it out to the outer corner of the eye. And then I'm going to take my Sugar Pill Tapered Blending crease brush and blend it out. So now I'm going to go back in with Desert, and I'll go back into the crease in the outer corner to darken up what I just did. And now I'm going to go back in with Suede and darken it up even more. Now I'm going to go back in with Earthy and darken it up even more. So now I'm going to take a clean eyeshadow brush and I'm going to dip it in Earthy and spray it with water to intensify that color so that way it deepens a little bit. You can see how it intensified it even more just by using it wet. So now I'm going to intensify it even more and I'm going to take Canyon and do it right back in that crease. I'm not going to go too far into the crease, I'm just going to stay more in the outer corner and blend it out. So now I'm going to go back in with Canyon and I'm going to use a wet eyeshadow brush to intensify it even more. So now I'm going to go in with Suede and I'm going to put it right in the outer corner of my lid. And I'm just going to kind of blend it towards the center. And I'm going to deepen it a little bit more with Earthy. Now I'm going to take a little bit of Earthy on my brush and wet it and intensify it even more. And now I'm going to go back in with Vanilla and I'm going to do that in the inner corner of my eye and just kind of lightly blend it into the middle of the eye. And I'm just going to blend it in with the brush that I used to put on some of the browns with. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a eyeliner brush. I'm using the one that came with my Tarte eyeliner and I'm going to get some of the blackout color on it, which is pretty much a black eyeshadow, and I'm going to wet the brush and use it kind of like a gel eyeliner. So now I'm going to go back in and smoke out the under eye area. I'm going to start with Suede and go lighter to darker. And then I'm going to go in with Earthy and go right back over that. And then I'm going to go back in with Canyon and darken it up even more. So now I'm going to go back in with Vanilla and I'm going to use that to highlight that inner corner. And for those eyeshadows to blend out in the under eye area, I use the smoky eye brush from Sephora. Once again, I think this one was contained, but they should have one that's more of an updated version. So now I'm going to go back in and do eyeliner in the waterline. I'm using the Smashbox Always Sharp eyeliners. This one's waterproof and it's a black one and it's called Raven. And now I'm going to go back in and kind of smudge it out with that smoky eye brush. And this will keep it from looking too harsh and more blended in. I'm going to put some mascara on now. I'm using the Smashbox Indecent Exposure. This guy's going to define and lengthen my lashes. And I actually like this one a lot. So this is the finished, complete look. As you can see, I used the powders for my brows, for the eyes, for the eyeshadow, and the eyeliner. And like I said before, the only problem that I had is just that if you're using it as an eyeliner, it's not waterproof, so you'd probably want to find a way to waterproof it somehow. But other than that, I love the palette. And if you guys have any questions, or if you try it out and you want to share your thoughts on it, I would love to hear. So you can leave anything below in the comments. If you do this look, you can always hashtag me on Instagram, and it's hashtag hyphychristine. And I would love to see pictures because it's always fun to see different recreations of stuff that I've done. And if you just want to follow me on social media, you can find me on Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter. I have the same name for all of those accounts, which I'll list it below. And actually, it's the same name as my YouTube, so yeah, that makes it pretty easy. So you guys can catch me on that, since I tend to post more on there than obviously I do post videos, which I'm trying to get better at. But I will see you guys. Thank you for watching, thank you for liking, and thank you for subscribing. Thank you. Bye.